Okay, so let's look at the arteries of the upper extremity. Start down here, and we'll have our heart. Okay, we've got a vessel that comes out of the heart, ascends upward, loops around, and heads down. Okay, things we can label on this. This portion right here would be the ascending aorta. Okay, portion here where it loops is the aortic arch, and then where it turns and heads south then becomes our descending aorta. Okay, off our aortic arch we have three branches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, first branch right here going to the right side is the brachiocephalic. It's one word, but I'm running out of space. Now it comes off on the right side, but I didn't call it the right brachiocephalic because that would infer that there's a left, and there isn't. Okay, we just have the brachiocephalic. Over here we have the left common carotid, and right here we have the left subclavian. Okay, now our brachiocephalic will split into two other branches that mirror the ones on the left-hand side. We end up with a right subclavian and a right common carotid. Okay, now the common carotids will split, continue up. Alright, and here we're going to have a left external carotid artery, and here we're going to have a left internal carotid artery, and we'd have the same on the right hand side. This would be the internal, this would be the external. Okay, now on the cadaver the internal carotid artery is going to have a thicker diameter because of what's called the carotid body. Okay, so that ought to be a tip-off of which is which. Now back down here, we got the left subclavian that heads over there and down, right subclavian heads over and down. Now these are mirror images. We have to get blood evenly to the left and right sides of the body. So really the only thing that's out of whack, or that's not a mirror image, is right there, that brachiocephalic. Okay? Now, as we head down, the vessel stays the same, but the name changes. Okay, we've all been out here driving on a road, and sometimes you're on the same road, it hasn't changed, and the name has though. Okay, and that's what happens here. I think it's like Olive and Dunlap do that out here, but I'm not sure. Over here we're going to have the left axillary artery, because now we're in the armpit. The armpit's the axilla. So here the subclavian traveled under what bone? The clavicle. Once we pass that clavicle, now we're in the axillary. Then we're actually going to start and head down the humerus, but the upper arm is referred to as the brachium, so it's going to be the left brachium. Okay? We're going to have the same things over here. We're going to have the right axillary, and we're going to have the right brachial. Now, off the subclavian, the first vessel we're going to see that heads north towards the head on each side is called the vertebral. So we're going to have a right vertebral, and we're going to have a left vertebral. Okay? And we have one more major vessel that comes out of the heart. It comes up, sends a branch this way, sends a branch that way. These are going to the lungs. Okay? This portion that comes up is the pulmonary trunk. Then we have a left pulmonary artery and a right pulmonary artery. And those are the vessels that you're going to learn on the cadaver for the upper extremity. Okay, you're going to have to learn more than those on the blood routes, just taking things out a little bit further, going down the lower arm, the wrist, that type of thing, going a little further up into the brain. This is what you have to know on the cadaver. By the time you come in to take that practical, you should probably be able to draw this. Okay, so now, I didn't want to do that. So now, we're going to look at the lower extremity. Okay? So now we're going to start our heart up higher, so I have room to go down. We know we've got the comes up, loops down, like this. Okay? So we got the descending aorta. We're going to pop through the diaphragm. The first vessel we're going to have come off goes nowhere really, but gives off 3 branches. One branch goes to the spleen and is thus the splenic artery. Runs right through the pancreas to the spleen. Now the spleen's on the left side, so this picture, while that celiac trunk would actually come out at you, and these vessels would go different directions, I'm just drawing it over here because of space issues. So we're going to have a splenic. We're going to have one go to the liver, which is going to be the common hepatic artery. And we have one go to the stomach, which is the left gastric. Okay? And these are easy to see because you'll be able to see what organ they're running to. Now, we have a right gastric. It actually comes off of the common hepatic, and we would call it the right gastric. It goes to the right aspect of the stomach. Okay? Second branch to come off the descending aorta, once again, would come off more coming straight out at you, but for space reasons, I'm going to write it over there. We're going to have the superior mesenteric, and it goes to the mesenteries, or the part of the that holds the intestines together. It's going to the small intestines. Remember, superior, small, the S's. Okay. Next branches we have, one goes left, one goes right. They go to the kidneys. We have a left renal, and we have a left renal, and over here was actually the right renal. Okay, next branch to come off goes to the intestines as well, but goes to the large intestines, so it must be the inferior mesenteric artery. Descending aorta comes down, it splits, goes to the left. Over here we have the left common iliac artery, so we're going to have a right common iliac artery. Now, just like up in the head, we had the common carotid, and it split into an internal and external. Down here, this is going to split into an internal and an external. Okay. So here we have the left external iliac artery, and this would be the left internal iliac artery. And somewhere right in there we pop out of, we go underneath the inguinal ligament, and we're down in the lower extremity. The external does that. Okay? And now we're no longer in that iliac region, we're in the front of the leg, the femur. So now these become the right femoral artery and the left femoral artery. Okay? And that's what you need to know for the lower extremity. Once again, you should probably be able to draw this out. But you're going to know these based on where they're going. If it's going to the kidney on the left-hand side, it must be the left renal. Okay? But you also are going to get used to what comes next. Well, are you looking at it? It looks like it's going to the kidney. Let's look at the one that comes before it. It looks like it goes to the small intestine. Okay, so that's right. So superior mesenteric, then I know the next one should be, I should be looking for renals. After the renals, I should be looking for the inferior mesenteric. So on and so forth. Okay? So I hope this is helpful. Good luck to you guys.